Alright, so this video is going to be about how to get the GPS telemetry for the Fusion videos, and I'll be showing what software I use and how the process is. So as you can see that I have my Fusion Studio opened up over here, and so the first thing that I adjust over here is the yaw, and then I just render the clip and I select 5.2K and then I select ProRes and then I just render the clip. So I already have the video rendered out, and I then render the same video in 4K in Adobe Premiere. So it's 3840 by 1920. The reason for this is because the software that I'm going to be using cannot play back MOV files, so I render it in a little lower resolution, that is 4K for this, and it's in MP4 format, so the software works well for it. So the software that I'm going to be using is called Racerender. So I'll just open that up and I'll click on blank project and I'll click on add, and I'll select the 4K resolution file. So we have our stitched media in our timeline. Now it's time to add the GPS file. So the GPS file for the Fusion videos are actually embedded into the front media. So that's in the front folder, and this is the raw front clip. So this has the GPS data in it. So I'll click on open. So it'll say this file appears to contain embedded GPS data or other telemetry data. So just click on yes, and I'll just delete the raw front file. So now all that we have is the stitched file and the GPS data for that particular video. So now I'll click on add. So this is where you can add your own gauges. So I'll click on speedometer, and I can just select any speedometer that I'd like to use. You can also customize it according to your own needs, and I'm using the ultimate version of the app. You also have a free version, but the free version has some restrictions where you cannot get rid of the logo. So the logo stays on it if you have the free version, and you cannot export media that is more than 5 minutes in duration. That's if you have the free version. However, if you upgrade to the ultimate version, you don't have any restrictions as such. You can use it according to your own needs, and there are no limitations to it. So I'll just select a speedometer over here very quickly. So I'll just select this one. So I'll place that over there, and then I'll add a G-force gauge. So maybe this one. Then I'll add a map. So I'll just enlarge it. I'll change the color of the track to a white one. And I'll create a black outline to it, and I'll just decrease the size of it. So I think this is perfect for it. So similarly I'll make some changes to the speedometer as well. I'll just make that a little big. I'll make the G-force gauge transparent, so I'll just uncheck the background over here. So you see that the gauge is now transparent. I can even enable the numbers on it. So you can make your own changes to the gauges according to your own needs. So I think this is fine for now, and after this the next thing that I'm going to add is a shape, and particularly a rectangle or a screen, a blue screen. The reason for this is because our video is in 4K and not 5K, and so that we can get a little better quality at the final video of ours, I'm gonna be creating a blue screen overlay on top of this, so that when we edit this in Premiere Pro, we can actually key the blue screen out and then get the gauges overlaid on top of the higher resolution media. So that way we can actually export a video clip that is high in quality compared to what we are using over here. So I have added the blue screen on top of it, and if I click on this move down tab, I only have my gauges on top of the blue screen, whereas the video is right underneath over here. And after that I'll just click on create video, and I'll just save it, and I'll just click on start render, and I'll save it. So we'll get back once the video is rendered out. Okay, so the video has been rendered, and okay, so now that we are in Adobe Premiere Pro, I'll import the media files for the project. So now we want to import the MOV file, or the 5K resolution file that we actually rendered from the Gopro Fusion Studio. So I'll import that, and after that I'll import the file that we created using Racerender. So I'll import that as well. And I'll create a timeline using my actual 5K MOV file. Because that's the file that we actually want to work upon, and that way we can actually export a high quality video as well. So we have a 5K MOV file in the timeline, and I'll click on the Racerender file as well, and I'll just drag in the video part of it, and I'll scale it to the frame, and I'll click on scale to frame size. So that way it perfectly aligns on top of it. Now I'll go to the effects tab, and I'll click on, and I'll type in key, and I'll select Ultra key, and and then I'll click on effects control. I'll click on this dropper icon over here, and I'll just select this blue color over here on the video, and that's it. So we actually have the gauges on top of a higher resolution media file, and it's perfectly synced to the raw media as well. So, and after this I'll just type in VR in the effects panel, in the effects, under effects, and then I'll select GoPro VR reframe. So now I'll just add in some keyframes very quickly, and then I'll show you how it looks. Alright, so now that I have the keyframes added, so if you want to change the size of your gauges in this at this point of the time, so what you can do is you click on the gauge file and double click on it, and you go down and you click on effects control, and you just simply increase the scale of it. So if I make it at 120, you see the gauges increase in the size, and I can also adjust their position. And now if I play the file, now there's one more thing that I'd like to show over here is I'll minimize this for now, and I'd also like to show you how the CSV file looks like for the GoPro Fusion. So if I open this up, so you'll see that there are quite a few fields over here. So we have the global time field, and similarly we have gyro acceleration as well. Then we have so we have this degree field, which is for the latitude and altitude, I think. Then we have meters, which is for the elevation. So then we also have meters, which I think is for the distance, and we have meters per second, which is for the speed. So we have two of those, and that's it. So these are the only fields that are available in the GoPro Fusion, and this is the raw CSV file of the Fusion media. And the reason that I'm showing you this is because I'll close this and I'll open the Hero 5 Black CSV file, and I'd like to show you the fields that are in this GPS file. So we have most of the fields that are in the Fusion GPS file, but we also have some more fields that should have been there in the Fusion file as well, such as the latitude, longitude, elevation, speed, elevation, the average elevation in meters, feet. So we have various components in various units as well, such as we have the speed in kilometers per hour, miles per hour. We have the GPS Y and X, which is used for the G-force gauge. We have distance in meters, feet, miles, kilometers. We have the raw heading and the heading field, which is required for the map. So you see, these are some of the important fields which are not there in the Fusion CSV file. And the reason that I'm showing you this is because, let's say if you wanted to use a software such as Dashware or Garmin Verb Editor, and if you were to use this particular software for the Fusion files, so I'll click on this, And just for demonstration, I'll select the Fusion CSV file. I'll select GoPro as my data profile. So what I want to show over here is that even though Racerender can read the raw Fusion CSV files very well, Dashware and even Garmin Web Editor as of now are not able to read those files very well. So if I click on the synchronization tab, ideally there should be a map over here, but for some reason whenever I select CSV file it does not show up. And if I select the speedometer gauge over here, you see there are no fields which are automatically selected in this menu. So I have to manually select a particular field. So because this is the speed one, so I'll just select this meters per second and I'll click on OK. And after this, if I play the file, my speed will be in meters per second. I'll just change this text to meters per second. And as far as the speed is in the raw unit which was recorded, that is in meters per second, the GPS file and the video file will be synced perfectly. But you cannot use this particular file if you wanted to get your units in maybe kilometers per hour or miles per hour. So this is not a very convenient way of getting the telemetry for your Fusion clips. However, you can use this. The trick here is to actually use a GPX format GPS file. So this can be done using Racerender itself. So if I click on the GPS file which we imported from the raw Fusion media from the front folder, and if I right click on the GPS file and I go to the export data, I have we have options such as CSV, GPX and all. So I'll click on GPX and I'll save it over here. And if I now open up Dashware, if I click on data file, if I select the GPX file and selecting the data profile as GPX, you see now we get the map as well, and we have our speed tracker as well. So all our gauges are straight away ready to be used. And so now that we have most of our gauges synced with the values that were necessary, the only problem that we now have is so the only issue that we have over here is that a GPS file and the actual video itself will not be synced accurately. So no matter how well you try to sync it to the video, you won't be getting very accurate results. So if I play this, so you can try this out yourself and see to it. Now this can be fixed with an update to the software itself, that is Dashware, and I think this can also be fixed if GoPro updates the way the Fusion records the GPS data in it, so that way we can get the speed and all in various other units, so that the softwares can work very well with it. So I'll open up Adobe Premiere and I'll just export this project. Now if I click on export and if I click on media, YouTube 1080 HD, and you can see that there are these black bars on the top and bottom. So for that you'll have to go to source and you'll have to actually crop this to a 16:9 aspect ratio, because since we are working on the 5K resolution in a 2:1 aspect ratio, so after that you can just render the video and upload it to YouTube. And that's all for this video. So I hope you get the idea behind the workflow and how it works. So let me know if this video helped you, and also comment below if you found this video helpful, and also subscribe to the channel and like the video. Thank you.